All right, welcome back, guys. Today we'll be looking at the Photoshop interface and the the interface components and the Photoshop workspace, right? So all you need to know about starting up your Photoshop and understand everything, all these buttons and what they stand for, right? So when you open your Photoshop, this is what you get. You get your welcome to Photoshop, then your name if you are signed up to the Adobe Cloud. Then you see by your right here, you see this new button, right? Now the new button here is the new file is just for you to create a new file. Let's just go ahead and click on that and see what happens. Now it brings up this toggle bar for you. Now what this does is to set up your page, like how you want your workspace to look like. This is where you set everything up. So you have your costume, what you have recently done, the file sizes recently used. Like I've recently used 1920 by 1080 twice and the default Photoshop size. Then we have saved the sizes you've saved initially. We have photo. Now, if you're looking at making it in photo format, you can actually take any of this and use. So we have the print. If you want to print and you want to design on a print orientation, so you can use any of this. We have legal, we have later, we have tabloids, we have A4, A6, and A5, and the list goes on. So we have art and illustrations. People that does art and use Photoshop for illustration, this is for you. You can use this orientation or this workspace, any of these to work. Then we have for web. If you want to use it for the web, if you want to design something for the web screen, this is your go-to tab. Then we have for mobile. If you want to design for mobile, you can come here. If you want to use for film, you can use here. What we'll be using the most is photos and print, right? Why photos and print? Because once you want your e-flyers, you can go ahead and use one of these photo display or presentation. Or if you want to print, you can select any of this. Then by this side now, by your side here, this is where you do all your settings. This is where you set everything you want to do, like the width and the height of the paper. Your workspace is like your art paper or your drawing book on your system. So you select the size you want. You can select the size. You can say you want to do 2000 pixels by 2000 pixels. It depends on what you want, and the orientation too. Either you want it portrait or landscape, it's up to you. It's either you want it as artboard. Subsequently, we are going to talk more about artboards. For now, we're just going to cover this. Then the resolution is the resolution of the picture, how sharp you want it to, how many pixels per inch you want on the system. So you have like what I use is 300 pixels per inch to give it clarity and to give it the same. Some people use 200, some people use 150, but it's up to you to use what you want. Then the color mode now is the kind of color mode you need or you want to use for the kind of color mode you want to use for your design. So there are a lot of color modes here. We just run by it. So we have grayscale, which is like black and white. We have CMYK, which is for large prints. We have lab colors also, but what we are using is RGB mainly because it's for online designs. So now you can change the background of the content, but the default is white, black, background color, transparent, custom. So it's up to you now. If you want to use a custom color, you just click on this white part here and the color opens. Then you can select any custom colors you want. But I'll stick with white. Always stick with white. And we have the color profile, right? What we use, it depends on you. What color profile do you want to use? So you just select and use. So now pixel aspect ratio, right? The pixel aspect ratio now it's dependent on you. Since it's a square pixels, the thing marks it out here already. So once you are done with all these questions, you just create, and that's all. And for now, deal with this. Let's deal with the interface overview, right? And the components. So we have learn down here. We have the learn down here, right? What learn does is it helps you if you want to learn anything. It just helps you give you ideas or hints on a particular page or something you want to listen. So if we click on it now, it shows you a lot of stuff. And I'd advise you, if you are new to Photoshop, you can actually just open this and learn. You can actually learn a few stuffs from here. There are a few stuffs you can learn from here. It's up to you, right? So down here again, we still have these tabs here. These tabs are for the files. Now what we have here, we have your files. That is the files I've used before. I have existing. The thing opens it up for me. Then we have shared with you. If there are any files like existing files in my cloud, the thing will appear here, and jobs I've worked on before will appear here. Then we have shared with you, right? Now this, if you have any documents shared from somebody to you, this is where you click to get them. So if you're working with Lightroom, right, you click here and get Lightroom photos. Then if you want to see previously deleted documents, you click on your delete, this delete pin here, right? So that's that about that. Then by your right, this is where you arrange your documents. It's either it's one how the orientation you want to give the document you've just shown. So you have, if you want it in list mode or in grid mode is up to you. Now up here you see the cloud storage. This is the cloud storage. Well, my cloud storage is almost full. As I give me this notification and it's asking me to upgrade, which I will do, maybe not soon, sha. Then we have our search icon. This is for you to search Photoshop and see what's new and what's not, and you can actually search for a file. And this gift basket now, honestly, I don't even know what this does, but we'll jump into it now. Now it's just what's new on Photoshop. If you want to see what's new and you want to update it, this is where you go to. Now this generative AI tool that's making the wave, you can actually update it here if you want to use generative AI. Some of you have seen videos on how generative AI works, how you can change backgrounds, or how you can edit objects and fill it in with new stuff. And it's actually helpful for you that is into photography or you that wants to do design and there are some cuts on the stock image, or you need the stock image to be perfect. You can actually use this for that. And this is my profile. Like this is where you can go to set up a profile and the rest, right? Okay, now we'll just jump right into it. We are done with the interface, the interface overview and the interface components. Let's just jump right into the Photoshop workspace, right? Now we just open up, we just create a new file by clicking on new file. By the way, right here, right? The top here now, the top here is your Windows panel, right? That's your menu bar. This is where you get your file, your edit, your image, and when we jump into the this thing, or we jump into the Photoshop workspace, we are going to you're going to analyze it and see what they actually do. For now, let's just create a new file. I think I'm okay with 1920 by 1080, 300, sorry, 300 resolution, and I think I'll make it 16 bits, the color mode. Then I create. Now this is your workspace. We are going to analyze and talk about each and every one of them. But first off, I'll just have to group them into uh, four or five panels. So for the first, this right here, the top right here now is your menu bar, right? And by the side, right here, sorry, right here is your option panel, right? Here, 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 it's your toolbar, right? We're going to talk of that too. Then right here, right here is your document window, right? Then we have our panel doc, which is this, right? So we are going to analyze each and every one of them and see what they actually do, right? So first off, we'll talk about our file, our menu bar. All right. What does our menu bar do? Our menu bar now is where you can actually just get, and are many options made available for you to work better on your screen, right? So we'll go with files to begin with. Now files, it's talking about your files. You have your new file, you have to open a new file, you have to browse in the bridge. If you have a bridge linked to your Photoshop, you can browse it to get. So you can open as smart objects also. We are going to talk about smart objects, opening your smart one. So you can open recent document, you can close the current file. So everything you need to do on this current file now is on this file. You can export this file as PNG, or export full, or export as an NFT, right? Then you can generate image assets. You can get image assets also. You can invite somebody to take a look at this particular file. You can search Adobe stock for images you want to use. You can place embedded, like you can import. This is like importing an image to this particular file. You can place a link on this file. You can automate, you can script, you can import, and you can do the rest of other stuff. That's the whole essence of this file. Then we have edit, right? We have edit. Now what your edit does is, if you have an existing file, right? Let's say I just drew a box. Now what the edit does is, it just helps you to edit this particular document, right? You can do whatever you want to do. Everything about edit, it's found under the edit panel, right? Now it just helps you to edit and do whatever it is that you want to do. right? Now we have let's go through the edit. We have the undo rectangle tool. Like you've already drawn a rectangle tool, you can undo it, right? Undo is to move a step backward. This is Control Z. And if you look closely, you see the shortcuts by the right hand side. These shortcuts help you to navigate properly, right? All right. Then we have the toggle last state. So if you want to toggle, you have the redo to redo the rectangle tool. Like what you've undone, you can redo it. So if you click on it now, you get it back. So by hitting Control Shift Z, right? Shift Control Z, you get back the item that you undid. So we have the toggle last state, like you toggle it between the last states. Now you can cut this particular edit, or you can copy it, or you can copy merge, or you can paste, or you can paste picture, whatever it is you want to edit. This is where to do it. If you want to search for something, click on your search, you check spelling of that for text. Then if you want to find and replace a text, this is where you go to do it. Then you fill stroke this up for images. In subsequent times, we'll be seeing the uses of this, right? That's it for this thing. Then we have the image in the menu bar. This is where you get all the modes from. You get, if you want to make the image grayscale, you want to make it an RGB color, this is where you go to for any image at all. As far as it's selected in the layer panel, you can do that. Then adjustments, you can adjust the image to whatever you want to do. You have brightness, you have levels, you have curves, you have exposure, and the rest, and the list goes on. As we further into the class, we'll see what they actually do and how they actually work. Then we have the image size. If you want to change the image size, you can do this here. You just click on it and the thing gives you an orientation. If you want the orientation you want, you can change it to pixels. If you change it to pixels, you see that it was the previous pixels that we selected when we are creating our new file, 1920 by 1080 with a 300 resolution, 300 pixel per inch resolution.